Wherever you are in the world today, I hope you're absolutely fantastic. So, I kind of don't need to do it, but I'm going to anyway. Going back to a previous forecast 2 days ago, after a cracking week last week, calling this move as it happened, saw a turning point, and then I called what's going to happen next. All right, so let's maybe fast forward in the video a little bit here. You can go back to my reasoning if you ever want to understand the build up to these market moves in these gracious and free market updates that I bestow upon the beautiful community around this planet ahead of time, right? So we send out two every day, one in the morning, one in the evening. Unfortunately, this morning I was caught up with coding, so I didn't get to do this at the normal time. However, I will do a close of day one just to follow up. So 2 days ago, we put this down, all right? So unfortunately, there's a play button in the way, and I don't want to make the screen bigger because the recording with TradingView isn't very strong. If you do anything with the browser, it bums out. So hopefully on your device, you can see that there's a target zone when price is all the way back here, and then you can see me explaining with that red arrow what I see transpiring and what the different potential plays would be. All right, so fast forward to today. This is quite crazy. I don't know if you guys believe in magic or something because it's quite wild how we can forecast the future of price action before it happens with absolutely massive accuracy, play after play. Okay, it's taken me many years to get to where I am now. And if you want to fast track the many years that it took to get to this ability on the market, I do have a course that you can take, obviously. And if not, then continue the way you trade. But eventually, you're going to come around and realize the way I'm doing it is much better. It's funny because it's true. Okay, so the prices come down as expected. What's interesting here is that it started to nominate this support line. So just for those who are on mobile, let me just try make it more visible. It started to commit to this support line over here up front, which is where I got confused because I said that it's trying to commit here, but it needs to get across to here. So I'm not entirely sure how it's going to do that. And I did some little adjustments as to how they could play out, and I was obviously correct in how it would. And then it bounced down from these resistances, and then came down, interestingly enough, once again, to that line that it first committed to. All right, so I'm diverting a bit, but I'm going to maybe just take you to the front page of TradingView, just out of interest. I'm not here to shame other people because everyone's on their journey, and I'm not calling anyone out. I'm calling the idea out that there are still people who are using. I'm not going to mention names here, but like this guy is using a cup and handle. I mean, this is just bored. Okay, I don't want to say housewife because my wife's a housewife and she's outstanding. She inspires me to be a better person every single day. So, a bored trader who's just watching the charts and creating imaginary shapes. He's looking at his teacup. So he's obviously an English trader that created this shape and said, "All right, cool. Cup and handle, I guess, is a shape." I wonder if it's just to troll the industry, but if it was to troll the industry, it's obviously stuck around because front page, okay, editor's pick over here. They're promoting a cup and handle. I mean, what a bunch of rubbish. Again, over here, this one's on Bitcoin, so it's kind of speaks to my point. The guy is doing lateral, okay, so horizontal support and resistance. There's so much wrong with that, by the way, guys, because if you're drawing horizontal lines just between where price has been before, what happens if there is a new high? Then what? Then you got nothing to go by. All right, so that's a massive fail just out the gate. But if you do have previous support lines, I suppose, quote unquote, I mean, I don't support it. All right, I'm going to stop getting punny. What's crazy is this guy's got 591 people who agree with this idea. And this is a problem. It's just the blind is leading the blind. And I take it kind of personally because I know as much as I know. So they're just drawing down lines to be like, all right, it's going to get there at some stage. But the problem is that there's no time indication of when that's going to be. Everything is price orientated here. But you got two parts of the chart, right? You got the y-axis and the x-axis. So what I'm able to do in contrast to those guys, and I'll stop there because I don't want to come across as mean, but I'm super experienced, so sometimes a little bit of arrogance is earned. And I'm speaking from confidence because I've put in the work. And you can see over here, when I said the spooky commits, all right, to the support line, it varied to over here. So not like one crazy journey. It just varied to over there. It stopped and resisted off of that, and then came back down to the same initial committing support line to get into the MTOPS target zone. And so the target zone I set once again days in advance. Okay, so this isn't coincidence. This happens week after week. You can go back to my TradingView profile. You can see when price is back here that I said is going to go to there, and it did exactly that. It turned around when I said it was going to turn around, and then it followed the path as I said it would into this region. Okay, time after time, play after play. This is not coincidence. However, guys who are relying on horizontal lines, just, you know what I mean? Because I don't know if it's just laziness or if because I just don't know any better. But I mean, it's obviously supported because almost 600 likes. It's on TradingView's picks, which means millions of people get to see this. And I don't know. It's just is the industry very far behind where I am, or what is going on in your opinion? Leave some comments below. Will the BTC downward trend continue? No, it's going to tick up now. Okay, so that's outdated and incorrect. I don't even know what he's trying to. Yeah, I don't even. I don't know what's happening, guys. Like, just give me a heads up as to what is happening out there. I've been called out of hiding because I've been coding the AI project that's going to forecast the markets on my behalf, and I've got community members pulling me out of the I laughingly say the dungeon, the coding dungeon, to get back onto camera just to kind of help out. And I didn't really get it at first because there's so much information out there. But when I see the editor's picks, the front page stuff being as I can't even describe what is going on as it is. I'm kind of see why they pulled me out of hiding. Okay, so that's 7 minutes of rants. Let's get into what happens next. And if you are still here on this video, 7 minutes in, congratulations. You're more attention rich than most of the world. Like, I'm looking at my analytics on the little posts that I'm putting onto TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and they're keeping attention for 15 seconds. And I don't blame myself. I blame just the way that the world has gone. So if you're watching after 8 minutes, then congratulations. Okay, so we'll take the target zone down. Or am I? All right, so what am I looking for here before I do that? Again, the course that I've created is called MTOPS. M for market structure, T for time forecast, O for oscillator, P for price forecast, S for support and resistance. So it's a great name, but it also has great foundation to it. All right, so let's start at market structure. If we zoom out, we look at our full cycle. Okay. Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, Quadrant 4. For some reason, in 2024, TradingView still suffers with keeping a simple vertical line in place. All right, so if you're experiencing that, you're not alone. It happens to me, and I think I'm going crazy, but it's a software issue on TradingView. So TradingView, just in case you're watching my videos, and I know that you are because you did choose me for editor's pick last week, please get your engineers to forecast or to adjust their focus on the actual tools of the software and not just adding new exchanges to the platform, which is kind of boring by now anyway. All right, so there's your cycle. Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, Quadrant 4. In that quadrant, you've got 10 turning points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going into 6. Now, why the cycle is so relevant, other than the incredible time component that it offers us, is that it gives us the ability to see what is not a real turning point and what is. and it also gives us the understanding of what needs to happen before it happens. So in quadrant 3, all right, so we got to space the turning points evenly per cycle. In quadrant 3, the next low, otherwise also known as turning point 6, needs to happen over here. We can tell that it's a higher low, so that means that, strictly speaking, Bitcoin is still in an uptrend, even though it got dangerously close to being in a downtrend. And turning point 6 more than likely has formed here. Okay, so from a market structure perspective, it looks as if we're at this next turning point where I want to put the forecast forward. I think I'll do the forecast forward in the next video because it's already almost 11 minutes. All right, so the time forecast, I'll put into the forecast of in the next video. The oscillator is what I wanted to get to, and you can tell over here that the oscillator is trying its best to switch. It's trying to close out, switch around, and then move in the next direction. I've had my team customize this oscillator because I couldn't code back in the day. So there's some secret sauce behind in the code over here that makes it different to the oscillators out there. So if you want to get this oscillator, join the community. It's a once-off charge for the videos, and you get access to all of our tools and everything else. So definitely consider that. Reach out to me on the DMs, and we can get you enrolled if that's of interest to you. If not, let's get back to what the oscillator is about to do. From the way that it's formed, it's got that kind of reverse hockey curve feel to it. Looks like there's going to be a switch on the lines there and then a move to the upside. So that's another thing we look out for, confirming turning points before they happen. The price forecast we'll get into in the next setup as to where the forecast will be. But as of this one, the candles formed in line with arc 5 over here of this Gann tool. All right, so why that's super relevant is because you want a correctly scaled Gann tool. And I just did this freehand, all right? So I didn't really put any effort into it. And look how well it worked out. So if you want to learn how to have correctly scaled tools, again, you know where to find that. Just reach out to me. So over here is where the price stopped at. Okay, turning around, so it went down in terms of, let's move on to support and resistance. So the support was this line, a little bit of inverse of support. In other words, you can consider that a resistance line just by the way that that looks right now, but the support line was this line. It moved within this wedge, okay, dropped down, got to our price forecast over here, so my MTOPS students will know exactly how we get that, and then formed itself, and now it's going to move in the next direction. All right, this is super powerful stuff, guys. Again, it's not a once-off. I think I've got over, I don't know, almost 900 ideas on, it's profile settings. 900 ideas over there, averaging at 5 boosts per idea. I did the calculation this morning, and you can go back to pages and pages and pages of how I've forecasted the market before it's happened and provided reasoning as to how it got to that. Okay, power, power, power. So if you want the power for yourself, you know what to do. All right, guys, that's it for now. I'm going to update this in a few hours' time at the close of day, and I'll have a forecast of where the next turning point is most likely going to be thereafter. Have a good one until then. Ciao for now.